Shannon Tiezi with The Diplomat. Beijing, at least under Hu Jintao, made a point of constantly saying they were trying to win over the hearts and minds of the Taiwanese people, which seems to imply a level of concern about cross-strait relations not just limited to the policy choices and signaling by the governments. So my question would be, is that still in play? Is Beijing still concerned about winning the hearts and minds of the Taiwanese people, because its current actions would seem to be fairly counterproductive in that regard?
Yeah, I agree with you, they're counterproductive, but that is still the policy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I saw a hand just shoot up with that comment, so he was highly motivated here, and then I'll go to the gentleman back on the wall there.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I'm a junior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment. So my question is also related to Shannon's question. So is there a strategy for Beijing to persuade or induce young generation in Taiwan to self-identify themselves as Chinese, or both Taiwanese and Chinese? Because we've witnessed this surge in self-identification as Taiwanese and not Chinese. So do you see any strategies for Beijing to adopt?
Alan?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that they're trying to make themselves attractive to younger people through help in education and entrepreneurship and so on and so forth. I don't think from a political point of view that has much prospect, frankly, but I think that there will be a lot of people in Taiwan who will take advantage of it. I mean, sort of, why not? One thing I will comment, though, I'd be careful of these polls that show greater self-identification as Taiwanese versus Chinese. That was true under Ma Ying-jeou, even more than we've seen to date under Tsai Ing-Wen. I think that the meaning of those terms has changed. I think initially that identification had a lot to do with domestic politics of KMT versus what was first became consolidated as the Dangwai and then as the DPP. I don't think it means the same thing today. So I'm not arguing at all with the fact that people are very much against unification, and still they've got what 23% for one form or another of independence, but it's not very high. The polls I've seen have been a little more moderate, should we say, about unification, where they show only 70 to 80% of the people oppose it. But I mean, there's nowhere to go with that. So what they need, in my view, is a stable relationship, whereas we've said they need to establish trust and find ways forward, which will take a very, very long time. And if they can't do that, this is going to be a pretty rocky road in many respects.
Steve, you had a comment?
My comment, this is based on talking to Taiwan, mainland Taiwan analysts in Xiamen and places like that. I wouldn't call it a strategy. It's a research topic that they are paying close attention to. They are looking for ways that they could influence the young people to be more favorable. They're looking for ways to appeal more strongly to the Taiwan business interests that have been supporting the DPP, to get their business interests more linked to the mainland, so that creates a contradiction in terms of how they position themselves. So in other words, they're looking with considerable detail and sophistication at ways they might influence it, but they haven't come up with a successful way of doing it that you could call a strategy. So I would call it a politically relevant research topic that they are paying a lot of attention to.